Okay, class. I won't always break up the video like this, but sometimes it's because I might have to meet for a live session for another class and I only had time to record part of it. And sometimes I think for you guys, it's easier to say, okay, here's this class rules and syllabus. All right, here's about the document of the week. So you can kind of go back and not have to watch the whole video if you need to reference this again. So this is basically Wednesday, September 9th, part 2. What we're doing is we're talking about documents of the week. Documents of the week are critical to your grade. They make up a lot of times, not exactly, but roughly 25% of your grade in non-honors. Honors, it's a little bit less. It is, in some ways, the easiest thing you can do to maintain your grade. It's also, unfortunately, the easiest thing you can do to hurt your grade. That's because they're due every single week. They're worth 10 points each time. So in a given quarter, there's 80 points right there in a class that only has maybe 350 points per quarter. Tests are worth 50 points, other assignments worth 10 points each. So what we're going to do today is explain to you what a document of the week is. I mean, that's the big thing. And then there's going to be another quick video, I mean, real quick, I think it's under 10 minutes, that shows you specifically how to do this week's document of the week. And that's more about, if you didn't know how to actually share the document that you're about to create. But let's talk about the document of the week. This happens whether or not we're online like this or whether or not you were in person. We're going to do document of the week every single week. And the document of the week is basically weekly practice writing for my class based on either a historical document I give you or sometimes a newspaper article that you choose. No matter what, there are certain things that are common to all of them. The first thing is that when you either handwrite this when we're in person or when we're doing learning like this, virtual learning, you're going to create a Google Doc, which I'll cover in the other video. But it always starts the same, no matter what the assignment is. Your name, first and last, go at the top of the paper. Some of you are going to say, well, I don't need my last name because I'm the only this in my class. I was often the only Shane in my class. That's an Irish name. It's not real common. Doesn't matter. My teacher still made me put the last name on there because it's not just about identifying you in that class. It could be identifying you in multiple classes in case the teachers mix them up. But more importantly, for the long run in your education going forward, it's a common practice that you put your first and last name on your work. So first and last name. You're going to attach the source. Now in physical, if we're in regular school, you could just staple the source to this. In this case, you're going to be creating the document from the document I share with you, or you're attaching a hyperlink to a website. Again, I'll go over all this. Know this, you have to write at the top what your source is. So this week, it's literally going to be fake document of the week because I'm not making you do a real one. I'm just showing you how we turn it in. But if it was the Constitution, then you'd write the Constitution. If it was Dr. King's letters from a Birmingham jail, you'd write Dr. King's letters. You put your source right here. Then you do your summary. Your summary is you putting this in your own words, showing that you've read it. So I don't want you to copy word from word whatever the document is. That's not how summaries work. Summaries are, you've understood what it is and you put it in your own words. Now, it can be what they call colloquial, meaning casual speak. You can just speak casually, that's fine, but it has to be complete sentences. It has to show you had a mastery of it. If I give you a historic document, you have to prove that you read it. Even if some of the things that you say are like, I'll be honest, I didn't understand it. You still might get credit for it depending on how hard the document was. But if it's the Declaration of Independence or a part of it, and you said, I have no idea what this meant, and it's the part where it says we're independent, and you can't come up with that, we're going to have a problem. If it's a news story, I get this one all the time. You get to pick news stories, I think in 2 weeks. And if you pick one, every once in a while there'll be like a headline and it says, bank robbers caught in getaway car. And then someone will write in the summary, oh, these 3 guys were robbing a bank. I hope they catch them. What? The headline says bank robbers caught. You have to read the story, put it in your own words. It's basically kind of like a thesis. This is a 3-sentence minimum for non-honors and a 5-sentence minimum for honors. Second, your opinion. What do you think about the news story? All you have to do is share your opinion. This should be the easiest part. If it's a document of the week that I'm giving you, a historical document, some of you might not think it's very exciting. That's fair. You can even say that in your opinion, but you should still share your opinion about the document as much as you can. If it's a news story and you think it's boring, that's on you, because you can pick a news story that's exciting. And if you don't, you're just making life harder for yourself. So that's got to be 3 sentences for non-honors, 5 for honors. And then there's a challenge. Now, don't get confused about the challenge. It's based on one thing and one thing only. 99% of the time, it's going to be one thing based on whether it's a newspaper or a document I give you. If I give you a document, which is what I'm going to do this week and next week, I say, is it primary or secondary? You're just explaining, I teach that next week. You're just explaining, oh, this was from somebody who was there or from somebody who was removed from the event. You just say that and why, and you're done. If it's out of a newspaper, it's reliability. You're explaining, oh, this story is reliable or it's not reliable and why. Those are all the parts. That's it. That's all there is to it. This will on average take you 15 minutes to write, I would think, for most of you. This is the rubric. It explains how it is graded. This is attached, not just this video, but this form is attached so you can look at this at any time. There's no real trick to this, but these are the things. It's worth 10 points, and these are the things you can lose points for or earn points for. Notes and rules. They cannot be turned in late. They're the one thing I do not take in late at all. They are due by the start of your class on Friday. This is kind of a life test here. You know, there's virtually no career you could possibly choose that you won't have deadlines. And so it's just that's the deadline. It's got to be in. It's not the end of the world if you miss it, but it's not credit for that assignment if you don't get it in on time. So if your first period, I think online first period starts at 8 a.m. So you've got to have it. Is it 8 a.m. or is it 8:15? Hold on. Let me look at my fancy cheat sheet. 8 a.m. So first period, your document of the week has to be in by 8 a.m. on Friday. I'm assigning it usually days and days in advance, usually Mondays. Now this week it didn't get assigned till today, but you also only have to write 1 sentence, so it's not a big deal. You know, if you are third period, it's due by 10 a.m. If you're fourth period, 11:15. And if it's not timestamped by then, it's a 0. I'm so sorry, but that's the way that is. This really can be easy for you, but I'm really strict about this. We'll cover this more when we do a news story, but it can only be news stories, not opinion columns, sports, police blotters, ads. I can't believe how many times I get ads. Can't be an obituary. Those are all either very brief or very opinionated. For example, an obituary. I get that one all the time. Someone will use someone's obituary. Obituaries are generally written by the family. So when I go, Mrs. P is going to write the obituary. And it's going to say, like, oh, he was great because she's writing it. She kind of likes me. That's why it's not very reliable, which is the very reason we can't. It's bad enough that some news stories aren't real reliable. We're not going to pick stuff that is inherently unreliable. Sports, I love as much as the next guy, but that's not really what we're here for. This news story must be current as well. It can't be more than 7 days old or from last Friday. And here's some examples. And again, refer to this page. You refer to this document. It's going to be, you know, in this link here. But you would just put your name. This is a news one. We're going to do this in a couple weeks. And you would have you'd have Sandusky Register written here, or in our world, online, hyperlink here to this story. I give you an example later on when I assign that. You know, here's a summary. That's about Zika virus. This is a couple years old from this example. Here's an opinion, and it explains why it's reliable. I think the one that I'm going to do for you that's more up to date is about a doctor who was cutting off people's toes without anesthesia and without, I think it was like at his house. You'll see that later, but you get the idea. If it is a document that I'm giving you, so for example, for this example, it's Dr. King's letter from a Birmingham jail, or at least part of it. You put your name again, you put that source. If it's in Google Classroom, the other video is going to show you how to make an attachment. And then you give me your summary, basically a thesis. Tell me this in your own words, not the words they use in the document. That's not a summary, that's just copying. You don't get credit for that. Then you give your opinion. Pretty straightforward. What did you think of this document? And then, because it's a document I'm giving you, you say, oh, this is a primary document. This was written by Dr. King. Or if it was a textbook about the speech, it'd be secondary. I'm going to teach that to you again. This is all just a preview. It might seem a little overwhelming to you at the moment. I don't want it to be overwhelming to you. This is not meant to be overwhelming. This is meant to just give you a preview. This week's document is super easy. It's a fake document. It's literally just so that I know that you know how to make a Google document out of one that I give you in your classwork. So all you have to do is put your name, put fake history document underneath it, and then tell me, let's see, say hello or something about yourself. That's all you have to do. You don't have to do a summary. You don't have to do an opinion. You don't have to do a challenge. You get 10 points this week. Sorry, honors, you get tickets. You get 10 points this week simply for attaching this document. That way, everybody starts off on the right foot, starts off with a solid grade. All you have to do is properly attach this document, turn it in by the start of your class on Friday, and write one sentence about yourself along with your name. That's it, you're all set. Now, if you don't know how to do that, and I totally get that a lot of you don't know how to do that, the final video is literally me going through as a student and going to fake history document and showing you exactly what to do, like how to turn it in. So if you already know how to do it, go ahead and go do it right now. If you don't know how to do it, click on the third and final video. Click on that, which I actually did a couple weeks ago, but that's fine. It's still the same process. And it'll show you how to go to classwork, get the assignment. Maybe it's from Stream. Everything's in Stream. Go to the Stream, find the assignment, create the document, write your little sentence, and turn it in. That's all you got to do. So watch that last video if you don't know how to get this assignment done, and you're all set for the day. That assignment is technically not due till Friday, but man, would you be smart to get this done early. Tomorrow, way less of me talking, you're going to be taking a pre-test. So you might not have to see me at all. Good for you. So hope this makes sense. Reach out to me if it didn't. That's what I'm here for. I don't mind that. They pay me pretty good money to answer your questions, so I don't mind. And I care a little. Not too much, but a little bit. So, but don't tell anybody. All right, very good. Hi, I don't know if you heard that. If you need to know how to turn in a document, you're not sure how to do that, watch that third and final video, get that done. Have a great day, everybody. Talk to you in our next live session. See you for a recorded video Friday.